Bring it back in, we'll play Mr. Kranick's testimony. Okay, thank y'all very much. Go ahead and have a seat again. We'll play Mr. Kranick's testimony for you over the loudspeaker system. Please don't discuss it, his testimony, or comment on it here in open court, because as I said, your deliberations are intended to be private, so bear and just take a few seconds.
Albert Kranick. I'm a local resident of Florida.
All right. And, sir, if you can spell your last name for us.
It's Krajniak.
Pronounce it one more time for us.
Kranick.
Thank you, sir. And, Mr. Kranick, you said you're a resident of Florida?
Yes, I am.
How long have you lived in Florida?
I'd say about 7 years.
And, do you live here in our area or somewhere else?
South of Jackson.
And prior to moving to Florida, where did you live?
Michigan.
Most of the rest of your life in Michigan?
Oh, yeah.
On February 28th of 2013, did you live, as you said, just south of Jacksonville?
Yes, I did.
Were you visiting Fort Pierce that day?
Yes, I was.
And who were you visiting?
Well, okay, it's family. You know, not tight family, but it's family. Somebody bought a house.
All right. And the fellow who bought the house is actually related not to you by blood?
No.
All right.
No.
But who you were there visiting as well, is your cousin, Jerry Blarski?
Yes.
Okay. Have you step down for a moment and look at State's Exhibit 8 here, and I'll walk around with you. All right, sir, and maybe I'll have you come around this side, but stay here close to this chair so that the jurors can see. Do you recognize the area depicted in this blow-up satellite view of the neighborhood?
Yes.
Okay. do you see, take a moment, get yourself oriented, and then tell the folks if you see the house you were visiting there on the map. Okay.
Sirs.
Okay, you gotta have to speak up a little bit, though.
All right. Look into the house. I see you got everybody else.
Okay, take a look.
But I'm looking at this. I know the street's this way.
Okay, so Miara is the
I'm
street?
saying there's the pool.
Okay,
All right?
all right, and how many times have you visited this house?
I've been there 2 weeks at a time and stuff. But I'd say 2 or 3 times.
Okay, and so if this is the house that we have here in the middle of the photograph where you say the pool you can see, where is does the property go all the way to the street behind?
It goes all the way to the street. It's like 2 lots here, 1 lot behind.
Okay, and the lot behind, is that where you and your cousin were working that day?
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a push pin here, and we'll match it up as the color seems to match your name there, and if you could, place that in the area where y'all were working.
It's like this green one we're right in.
Okay, go ahead. Push it in.
We're
Very good.
pretty good with we're straight.
Great. You can return to your seat. Thank you. All right. Now, I was just getting into that with you when I had you stand up. You were working there helping out family.
Yeah.
All right. You said, I think, and if you hadn't, we'll have to say it now, you were working in the backyard doing some kind of cleanup lawn work.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Okay.
What point of the lawn work were you at when something caught your attention?
All right, we were done with our lawn work. We finally got all the junk picked up. And the truck was parked by the edge of the road. I'm having a cigarette. I think Jerry's just standing there with me. We're taking a break. We're done. We finally got everything done. Truck's packed up. We're going to leave. We're by the front of the truck, by the side of the truck in the front. We're ready to go. I said, I'm going to have a cigarette first. Jerry don't smoke, so I'm going to have a cigarette.
And what caught your attention while you were there smoking a cigarette?
Well, I'm there having a cigarette. All of a sudden I hear all this gravel and dirt flying from a car and an engine running. You know, something's coming down the street, like bingo, like right now. And here comes this little reddish car by us. And then there's an officer chasing now. You can hear this car coming too now. He's trying to catch up to that one. You got 2 cars. One hits the brakes.
All right. Which one hit the brakes?
The red car hits the brakes.
Then what happened?
He hits the brakes, and he's sliding to a stop. Now this other officer, the officer's behind him, because he's on him. But his car's a little heavier now. He hits his brakes, he's sliding. He slides a little bit past him and tips his car a little bit. So that's where those 2 cars stopped.
When you first saw the red car braking and starting to slide to a stop, what did you see the police car do?
He was slamming on his brakes too. But
Did you see him try to avoid the red car?
he had to. You know, I just watched this stuff. He hit his brakes. The officer, now, he had to swerve, hit his brakes, follow him up, and nudge it across him just a little bit. Not a lot, just
kind of the nose.
if he went straight, he would have hit his fender a little bit.
Right. If the red car had gone straight, it would have hit the deputy's fender at that point. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, not much, but he would have hit it. Yeah. He didn't lock him out like this. You know, he barely.
So you're signaling your hand, so we want to make sure
Oh,
it's private for the court reporter. You said they were behind each other? And
Yes.
The deputy was behind the red car. When the red car stopped, the deputy worked out to the left around him.
Yes.
Slid to a stop, turning his nose back to the right.
Yeah. Not a lot, but, you know, not a lot. Like, the car was this way in the road. It's just barely touched. You know, he's still heading down the road.
What happened next?
I couldn't believe it. The guy in the red car steps on the gas and backs up to where our truck was, where we were at. And when he hit the brakes, he jammed in reverse, stepped on the gas, brought the car back, slammed on his brakes. Now when he slams on his brakes, he's like, his fender, his nose of his car is at our front tire of the truck. We're sitting here, now he passes our front end of the truck and he slides to a stop. So he backed up and I said, he's getting a ticket.
Right.
Yeah.
He was about to get a ticket.
Yeah.
What happened next?
He jumped out of his car. When he jumped out of his car, he had a gun in his hand. When he jumped out of that car, he took a shot as fast as he could at the officer's car. I don't know if he hit it or where the bullet went, but he's running full speed. The officer, I'm looking at the officer and he's like, because this guy stopped. I'm looking at the officer's car. What's he doing? He's not getting out of the car right away. He's going to get out of the car wherever he was doing. But it was so quick. This is seconds now. People ask you, how fast was this? It was like clockwork. It was so fast. Somebody jumps out of a car, takes a shot, and as he's running, he takes a shot at the guy's car, the officer's car. I don't know if he hit it. I don't even know if he hit the car, because this is like so fast, and it's like we're plain view.
What happened, what did you see the officer doing at that point?
He was bouncing around in that car, just trying to he was moving in that car. The door goes kick. He did not open the car door with his hand. He was already, when he stood like that, whatever he was doing, he kicked that door open. He maybe opened it, but he kicked the door open. His hand didn't go pushing on it, because he was back this way. And he took the shot at the car. I don't know if he hit him. I don't know if he hit the car, because he ran. Takes the first shot. He's running. The door gets kicked open. He takes an angle cut a little bit. Goes like this. He shoots one at the officer. He leans forward. He hesitates. Then he goes back in at him. And I'm telling you, he walked his gun shooting all the way into the door of the car with it wide open at him. Like he walked it in. He just didn't go boom and just stand there and throw shots at him. He was running into that car, that little spot, like maybe 3 steps when he was like, the last shot was inside the car. The gun was inside the car. It wasn't just outside the car. It had to be inside the car. Even the angle I was at, it was in the car. And that's what I seen. And then he ran back.
How many shots total do you believe in the second burst as he's advancing on the car?
I'd say there was more than 3 one at the car. 3 to 4, maybe even more. It was so fast, and it was like, I was just found out, I just couldn't believe it's seconds. It's not. If you can do this without shooting a gun, just running through this, I would say it's seconds. So fast. And we're in a daze too. It's like, oh my God.
You said you saw the officer kick open the door. Did you ever see him get out of the car?
He never made it out of the car. He never made it out of the car. He got the door open. And I seen what he looked like, and it's like, yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. First, could you describe what the fellow looked like that was doing the shooting?
Okay, he had dreadlocks. He had a t-shirt like on, shorts. I can remember him, and that's what I've seen is just, yeah.
Black guy or white guy?
Black guy.
Now, you said you were standing by your truck when this started.
Yes.
Right up next to it, could you have touched your truck?
Oh yeah. We were right by
How
there.
close was you said the red car stopped and its final stop right next to your truck? How close was it to your truck?
I'd say the front tire of the truck was his front bumper. Right about that area.
How about the distance between them?
It couldn't have been 2 feet, 3 feet, most, maybe less.
So between you and the shooter, when he first stepped out of his car, is the width of your truck 2 or 3 feet than the width of his car?
Yeah. That's it.
As the, obviously, he covered some ground to get to the deputy's car.
Yeah.
What did you do as you saw this happen?
Well, you know what? We should have ran right away. We didn't. What I did was, both of us stood there and watched us come down in the shooting. Now he's running back to his car. After he did all this, now he's running back to his car, gun in hand, and it's like he made very little eye contact, but there was a hesitation. To me, I could see it. Me and Jerry standing there. So I just said...
You felt like he looked at you?
Oh, no, he looked at both of us. That's what I felt like.
And
he was like...
When you felt that way, what did you do?
I told Jerry, run.
And did you run?
I ran that way, he ran this way.
When you all, before you ran, you saw him turn back and head towards his car. How was he holding the gun as he went back towards his car?
Like locked in position like this. After he shot him, after he shot me. But when he was running back to his car, it was locked, like pointing down the street. He wasn't putting it back down in the ground or anything and running. It was like this.
Straight out. You're
Straight up.
with your arm, for the record.
Yeah.
Your arm like parallel to the ground, straight out, holding the gun out in front of him.
Yeah.
Okay, and you said there, I believe you said, and I may have cut you off, that he was pointing it down the street.
Yes.
As he did that, as he pointed the gun down the street, and was he walking, was he running, how was he moving?
He was running.
Okay, back towards his car.
Yeah, he was on a move, yeah.
Okay, which of course is back in your direction as well.
Yeah.
Now, you said pointing down the street, and it was down the street he's pointing.
Yeah, he was like pointing it past his car. It wasn't nowhere near us, but it was scary enough.
But you never felt it was pointed at you.
No.
What's the next thing that happened after, well, let me ask you this way. You said you ran and you pointed a direction. Which direction did you run?
I ran, okay. Jerry ran towards the bushes, and there was a cyclone fence, a small one, not that high. You had to get over it. I had to get over that to go to another fence, the wooden fence, and a trail going back there so I could get to the gate that we left open. That was my plan.
That was your plan to escape?
Yeah.
And how far did you get?
I got to that fence, and I heard a little shot, and then I heard another shot, and I says, well, I'm going over the fence, I'm going to jump. And I look, I see an officer there taking a shot. I didn't even hear the cars pull up. I didn't see the other car pull up, but I heard a shot, and it's like I'm jumping the fence, and I'm looking at him, I'm saying to myself, I'm scared anyways, and I'm like, oh God, there's somebody that's shooting at him. It's not shooting at us.
Right.
So I froze then, right there, because I knew I didn't have to jump the fence.
What did the shooter, the man in the red car, what did he do what was he doing when you saw the officer, the second officer shooting at him?
I seen his car going down the street. It was already moved away from the truck and going down the street. I never even heard it take off. I was too busy. I didn't even know there was an officer there until I tried to jump the fence and I heard the gun going off. So.
Now you said you saw the red car driving away. Where did he go when he drove away?
Okay, when he went down the street, he went all the way to the end of the street and he took a right. Like there's a trailer parked down the road where you make a turn. So
he turned right after you saw him drive away.
Yeah.
And what did you do what did you do? You just stayed there by the fence?
No, I ran towards the truck, the nose of the truck, because the officer was there. He was in a daze too. I'm not picking on the officer. He did what he had to do. He took a shot. I don't know how many shots he took, or the other guys took shots. I only seen him shoot down the street, but there was other shots in between, but I was running. So I ran. I was waving at the officer that did the shooting, raising my hand so to let him know that I was there, and I was yelling at him, I'm going to the car. I ran to the officer's car, and I looked inside, and this bothers me. I look inside the car, and there's fibers. His chest is, yeah, that's the biggest damage I've seen, you know. But there was no, his eyes were, he was just laying back over his computer, just laying in there, 1 foot wedged into his feet. I looked at everything, and he was done. I mean, there was no movement, there was no lung movement, there was nothing, it was just tissues and fiber and blood and pieces of coming out of the center of his vest that he had on. Because, I don't know, I'm no expert. Those vests are supposed to work, but I don't think they work that close. You know, that would be, I'm looking at this. He's got a foot wedged in the door, but not outside. He's got the other one hanging over the seat out there. He kicked the door open to get out. He never got out of that car. And I don't know if he pulled his gun, because I wasn't looking at that. I was looking if I could help him, and it was like, I just backed up and I told the officer he still had his gun. He was talking whatever, you know, it happened so quick, and I just told the officer, he's gone. There's nothing you can do for him. If there was something I could have done, I looked and I said, I was just amazed. I was shocked.
I'll sustain the objection.
I'm going to show you some photographs, okay? And we'll have you explain what you saw to the members of the jury.
Yeah.
Your Honor, if it's all right, we'll publish the video.
Yes, sir.
You can step down, sir.
All right.
You may have to take a second for it to warm up here. All right, we're showing you, there it is, it's warming up. We're showing you State's Exhibit 6. Do you recognize that vehicle?
It looked like the car, but it didn't look like that when I heard the smack.
All right, I'm going to show you next, should be State's Exhibit 13. Do you recognize the area depicted in this aerial photograph?
Yeah.
All right, if you could, go ahead and step up there to the, and be mindful that the jurors, you need to see what you're pointing at. You can just point to the red truck that you've been describing your truck, or the truck you always use.
This is the truck we had.
All right. All right, and you said you were standing right next to the truck?
Yeah, I was standing like by the windshield, but right there.
All right. And Jerry was in the yard there near you?
He was right alongside me. Right together. So we were right next to the truck. We weren't like 10 feet away from it. No, we're close to it.
When you're out here in the middle, there's no microphone, so speak up just a little bit more. That's fine. If everyone does it. If you can
Yeah, we were there, but we weren't far away from the truck. I gotta reach my hand for this. You know, poking on there or whatever. Yeah, Frank could set it. And we're not real far away.
All right, where was the red car when you first saw it?
When I first saw the red car, it was like even with the window, like right here. You know, it was like we heard the noise. And all of a sudden here comes this red car whizzing by.
And you said it slid to a stop?
Yeah, slid to a stop. He slid this white car. If you get rid of that white car, here's his officer's car. Yeah, okay, that's the officer's car. He slid over here.
The one with the doors open is the officer who slid, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Now, where did the red car come to a stop?
You know what? The red car, when he slid, was pretty close to where that white car is. You know, not this one, but this one.
Right, the one on our left, is when we're looking at the picture. And then you said he went in reverse.
He went in reverse, and he ended up almost, I'd say the tip of his red car ended up with that arrow. The front end of his car backed up to that arrow.
So from your
Maybe a
vantage,
little bit more up, but it was like center of the tire or a little bit back. His front end was there. We could see his whole windshield. I could see, where I was standing, and this is closer to the vehicle towards the windshield. I could see the front end of his windshield and his door. You know, if I looked across, I could see the driver.
now when you said he was standing right next to his car when he fired the first shot, he had just gotten out of it?
He just got out of his car and the first shot went to the officer. I said, he shot the car? I don't know. And that's what I heard the shot.
And that's when you said you saw the officer kick open his door and try to get out?
He was already into his step. He was already into his step to the car. He was already on the front to the car to the shot. Door got kicked open.
Okay. And the shooter then, you said, approached the car, the deputy's car, very fast?
Yes, he did. But when the door got open, he was running to the car with his hand, with the gun out.
I'm going to show you States 20. And looking at the car there with the door open, is that the position the car was in when you saw the shooting?
Yeah.
Where you said that he advanced with each shot. The first shot that he fired, I'm not talking about the shot that from his when he was at the red car, but the first shot when he was close to the officer's car, where was he standing when he took his first shot?
Well, where he took that shot, he's running this way. Door gets kicked open. He takes the shot. He's running this way. The door gets open, so he takes a shot. Then, the door's all the way open. He takes a shot, then he hesitated, and then he started taking more shots all the way to the car.
And you're indicating you're moving your hand closer to the door with each shot. And you felt like the firearm kind of broke the plane of the car and was actually inside the car when he took his last shot?
Yes.
Now, if I could back on that and go back to number 13. You said as after he shot, you saw him with his arm pointing down the street, running back towards his car. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. If you could just point to us the area that we're talking about he was running when you saw him pointing down the street.
Well, when he left the office, when he took his last shot, now he's steadily running back. And he wasn't running like this. The gun was always locked, pointing down the street.
Right.
But he was running like this.
And
Why did he drop it down running? I didn't know.
did the firearm seem to be steady as he was doing that, or was it waving around?
Oh no, he was steady.
And could you point to a place on the picture where you feel like it was aimed? You said it wasn't pointed at your truck.
Down the street. It was like, he's parked over here, he's running to his car, where it was parked. He's going to his door, but his hand was blocked. It's like, usually you run, I'm not in trouble to be running, I'm going to be moving. But his hand was out. It didn't go down.
Thank you, sir. You can return to your seat.
Glenn, do you want to start now, or do you want to wait till after lunchtime? Do you want to wait till after lunchtime, or do you want to start now?
Not up to you, sir.
Okay, I'll give you 10 minutes, we'll stop at noon.
Okay. Mr. Callahan, how are you?
All right.
Go back over a couple of things we talked about, okay?
Okay.
let's talk about when you're standing by the red truck, taking your break. Okay? I think you told us the first thing you noticed was the motor sound of gravel. Am I correct?
Right.
Now, I want to bring this out because I'm not sure anybody else has talked about it. When these cars are driving down the road and the gravel and sand and dust goes flying everywhere, it goes up in the air, right? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. And that happened on this day? Yes?
Yes.
I'm not trying to be mean, but you have to say yes or no.
Oh,
maybe
okay.
just type in what you're saying, okay?
I know what you mean when you, but just, if you'll just say yes or no.
Okay.
So, the red car goes by you, the police car goes by you. There's dust in the air from the road. You would agree?
Yeah, there's some dust, but I'm not, I'll say there's dust.
Okay. Now, when the red car slammed on its brakes, the amount of dust increased. Would you agree?
Yeah.
And then when the police car slammed on its brakes, the amount of dust increased as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you told us that the red car, after coming to a stop, put it in reverse and backed up to approximately where your truck is.
Yes.
All right. The police car stayed in the same spot.
Yeah, it never moved.
Now, I want to be clear. When the police car went around the red car, it would have hit the red car had it not gone around the red car. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now, the red car come to a stop. We noticed the man get out of the red car. Yes?
Yes.
He had the gun in his hand.
That's after when he came back, not the first stop, but when he backed up, yes. That's when he got out.
All right. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When he opened the door and gets out of the red car.
Yeah.
Had the gun in his hand.
Right.
He runs over to the police car.
Well, he's running to the car, yeah.
Running toward the police car. You already told us he fired, and then he kept firing into the police car.
Yeah.
Now, when he stopped firing, he turned around with his arm outstretched and run back in the direction of the red car.
Yes.
Now, you never saw him point and fire at anyone else after he fired into that first police car.
No.
He gets back to the red car. He runs the entire time.
Yes.
He gets in the red car and drives off.
Yes.
Now, just so we're clear, a second police car comes down the street. Yes.
Yeah, the second car, the next one coming.
You saw that officer fire at the red car as it's driving away.
Yes.
You remember how many times that officer fired at the red car?
There were shots, I don't know how many times he fired at the red car, but I know I seen him shoot one shot. There were shots. I don't know where they were coming from or what. When I went to jump the fence, that's when I noticed the shot being fired, and it was from the officer.
Now, these shots you heard, you're talking about after the guy from the red car done shooting.
Yes.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Chief, I have one question on your direction.
Yes, sir.
Did you actually see the shooter get back in his red car, or was that when you were looking at the fence and trying to figure out your next move?
You know what? When he looked at me, he was at his next step, he was in the car. I never seen him jump in his car because I had my eyes that way and running. It was like, yes, yes.
So the last time you saw him was outside the car, and then you saw the car driving away when you looked back in that direction?
Yes.
No further.
Okay.
Just, we do pause on
Yes,
that.
sir.
I want to make sure everybody's clear on this. How close was he to the red car when you last saw him before he drove off? Right next to it?
Oh, he was to the windshield. When I was running running. He was at his windshield to his car.
Okay, so can you estimate how close he was to the red car the last time you saw him before he drove off?
Last time I saw him, he was like, here's his car. If that was me, here's your car. He's running. He's at the edge of the windshield. He's going to be getting in his car, and I had left. So I never seen him get in his car, but he was so close to it. It was one more step he was in.
Could he have reached out and touched the car?
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Nothing further.
If y'all can bear with us, it'll take just a few seconds. We'll play Clarence Bennett's testimony.
Good afternoon.
Please introduce yourself to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Yes, Deputy Clarence Bennett, St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office.
Deputy Bennett, I see you leaning forward, you're talking to the microphone. I know you can be very soft-spoken, so I'd ask you to continue to do that so that these folks can hear you, okay?
Okay.
All right. Now, sir, obviously you've told us that you're a deputy with the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office, is that right?
Yes.
How long have you been employed with the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office?
11 and a half years.
And during those 11 and a half years, can we assume that you've held various positions within the agency?
Yes.
And why don't you tell us what some of those positions have been?
I originally started out as a deputy at the jail. I did that for 3 years. From there I went to patrol. I did that for 6.5 years. And my current assignment is detective, where I've been so for about 2 years now.
Now, prior to coming to the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office 11 some odd years ago, do you have any other prior law enforcement experience?
No, I do not.
All right. Can you give us a brief description so the ladies and gentlemen jury get the understanding of your educational background, your training, and your experience?
Yes, I'm dual certified, as in I'm certified in both corrections and law enforcement. I have over 600 plus hours of advanced training to include classes such as field training officer, line supervision, death investigations, interviews and interrogations, investigating child abuse crimes, and I also have a 4-year bachelor's degree, criminal justice from Florida Atlantic University. And I'm also certified in CVSA, which is Computer Voice Stress Analysis exams.
Okay, now, as it relates to your duties, you've indicated that you're presently assigned to the Detective Bureau, right?
Yes, I am.
If I take you back to February 28th of 2013, what were your duties and responsibilities with the agency at that time?
I was a uniform patrol.
All right. Now, you mentioned something about an FTO or a field training officer.
Yes.
Well, then tell that jury what that is. What's a field training officer?
A field training officer, the duties and responsibilities of a field training officer is to train
Right. Stay with me now, Clarence.
Yeah.
Tell us what a field training officer is.
Okay. A field training officer's job is to train new deputies that come in that are hired by the agency. And
So in that capacity, as a field training officer, if we've got a new deputy, he would be riding with you, and you'd basically be showing him or her the ropes, if you will. Is that fair to say?
yes,
All right, so back in February of 2013, you were a field training officer.
yes, I was.
All right. That particular day, which we know to be a Thursday,
Were you working the morning of February 28th?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And what shift were you working?
Day shift, C squad.
All right. And what is that? What's the day shift? Tell us what your hours would be. When you come in, when you go.
We start briefing at 6:30 in the morning, and at that point, we're given any information as far as what's going on in our zones and in our areas. And at that point, we're assigned to work our zones.
Okay. What zone were you assigned to back in February 2013?
I was assigned to Zone 8.
And who was your supervisor? We know kind of how the hierarchy of the agency works. Who was your supervisor on that day?
Sergeant Gary Morales.
Okay. Now, were you aware that Sergeant Morales had gathered your group together to discuss basically an operational plan for that particular morning?
Yes.
All right. Were you present for that meeting, or were you somewhere else when that initial meeting occurred?
When the initial meeting occurred, I was responding to a call that I was dispatched to.
Did you have an opportunity then, after responding to that call, to get with Sergeant Morales and discuss what his plan was for that particular morning?
Yes, I did.
All right. What area had you all discussed focusing your attentions on?
We call it Silver Lake Estates.
This is a residential area within St. Lucie County?
Yes, it is.
And were you aware of what some of the complaints had been relative to criminal activity and other things in that area?
Yes, I was.
Okay, we heard petty crimes, maybe some burglaries, some thefts, some vandalism, things of that nature. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, tell the jury what your understanding was as to how this, and I don't know that I get the term correct every time, but I guess this enhanced enforcement or this focused enforcement in the Silver Lake area was supposed to work. What were you supposed to do?
Basically, it was basically we were to be our normal duties, proactive patrol, which we can do if we're not responding to calls, which is what we're supposed to do. And the only difference in that day is we just had more units to do what we basically do every day. There was nothing different, just what we do every day with more people in the area.
Good police practice, make the presence known in the area?
Yes, it is.
It gives you an opportunity to step out, talk to the citizens in the community, get to know people?
Yes, it does.
Gather intelligence?
Yes.
All right. Now, that particular morning after you met with Sergeant Morales, did you have the occasion to make some traffic stops yourself out there in the area or assist?
No, I did not at the time.
Were you monitoring the radio traffic and the radio communications?
Yes, I was.
All right. Were you aware that other units in this group were making traffic stops in the Silver Lake area?
Yes.
All right. And did you assist some of them? Did you go in, or had you intended to go to do some backup to assist some of these other deputies?
Yes, I did.
Now, how would you become aware of the fact that, let's say I think Deputy Stubley will be a witness who will be testifying here. How would you be aware of the fact that Deputy Stubley was making a traffic stop?
By listening to the radio transmissions.
And if you're not on a traffic stop and a deputy's making a traffic stop, is it common practice that you will go and back that person up?
Yes, it is.
All right. Let's talk about that. Was there a point in time where you were going to proceed to back up? I believe it was Deputy Stubley who, at that time, was he in field training?
Yes, he was.
Okay. And did you become aware that Deputy Stubley had stepped out with a citizen on a traffic stop?
Yes. He had made a traffic stop while he was in field training.
I'll override objection if that's all there is to it.
Go ahead.
He was with Deputy Bregley at the time, who was his field training officer, while he was making the traffic stop.
So once you realized that he had another deputy in the car with him, did you decide or elect not to go back up that particular stop?
Yes, I did, and that was Stubley had prior law enforcement experience, so it wasn't the same as somebody who just coming out of the academy who had no experience.
All right. As you were out then in the Silver Lake area at approximately 9:28 in the morning of the 28th, did you become aware of Sergeant Morales attempting to conduct a traffic stop in this area?
Yes, I was.
How did you learn about that?
By listening to the radio transmissions.
Okay, where would you have been approximately, to the best of your recollection, when you first hear Sergeant Morales call out that he's conducting a traffic stop?
It was about eastbound on like Fremar Place, headed towards, I was almost at 7th Street at that point.
All right, did you, because of how these communications work, did you know approximately where Sergeant Morales was when this traffic stop was supposed to be occurring?
Yes, I did.
All right, was Sergeant Morales alone or was he with anyone?
No, he was by himself.
All right, and so because of that fact, what did you do?
I went ahead and I started heading towards him.
Now, initially, as you're traveling over towards Sergeant Morales' location, what kind of speeds are you going? Are you running with lights? Are you running with sirens? Tell us what kind of urgency you're going towards Sergeant Morales with.
There was no urgency. Just normal speed, whatever the speed limit is, maybe 5 over or so.
Nothing about the way that traffic stop was being communicated at the beginning that gave you any concern for anybody's safety?
No, there was not.
All right. What's the next thing you recall hearing after Sergeant Morales is calling out his various locations? What's the next thing you recall hearing?
While I was on 7th Street, I heard him stating that the vehicle was running away from him.
So now does this increase the, urgency to some extent?
Yes, it does.
All right, and how do you respond in terms of your response to Sergeant Morales' backup?
At that point, I turned on my lights and sirens, and I get on the radio to make a transmission to let them know that I'm on my way. Because
you've gotten somebody fleeing, now you turn your sirens on?
Yes.
All right. Now what I want to do, if I can, Deputy Detective, I'm going to have you step down. I think I've got, with the court's permission?
Yes, sir.
Let me see. Okay, you're going to be green, and you're going to have a green pen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have you use State's Exhibit 8. Can you come over here, Clarence, please? Try to stand here so they can see. You don't see it from here? Okay. All right, so first of all, I'll ask you State's Exhibit 8. Can you see that? State's Exhibit 8, do you recognize this area?
Yes.
What are we looking at? What would you call this area?
This area right here, this is what we call Silver Lake.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to have you hold this. Hold on to that call, will you please? Sorry. What I want you to do is, we're going to listen to the portion of the dispatch tape, and I want you to tell us basically where you are as we're rolling through the dispatch tape, okay? And what's going to be important is I want to talk about some of the timing of that, all right? Yeah, and what I'll also do, Deputy, are you familiar with the voices that we hear on the dispatch tape?
Yes.
And You had an opportunity to listen to that dispatch?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so 166-1050, can you tell us what that is and who that is?
166.
Okay, so on using State's Exhibit 8, I know it's not on here, but show us about where you are when you hear that call.
I would have been further south.
Okay?
I would have been further south here in this area right here. It would have been a little further down on one of the roads that run east-west.
Okay, and what direction would you be traveling at that point in time?
At that point, I was traveling.
Okay. So you're traveling forward, I can't see it so good, but what's that long, yeah.
7th Street.
Okay, all right. Okay, so now he's calling out his location. Do you know where that approximately is because this is your zone?
Yeah.
Okay, where is he calling out generally from?
He would have been calling. He said mirror.
Right.
Calling out.
Okay. So when you hear this, again, because your job is to respond as backup, where are you thinking you're going to find Sergeant Morales in this traffic stop?
Well, he said mirror King Horn.
Okay, hold on a minute. I don't want you to get ahead of yourself. What we just heard was 3200 block of Mura.
If he says that he's on the 3200 block of mirror, I'm gonna assume that he's gonna be somewhere
Okay.
in this area.
Okay, so
John, I might have to get back to that. You said you just don't approach, please.
okay, so again, Detective Bennett, you're indicating that Sergeant Morales is saying he's calling out his location where he anticipates the stop to be in the area of 3200 block of Mura, correct?
Yeah.
All right, and so again, indicate on the map where it is you're going to expect to come up on Sergeant Morales in this traffic stop.
I expect to come up on him if he says mirror 3200 block of mirror, and I expect it to be on mirror.
Okay. So at that point in time in the transmission, I know it's difficult to recall exactly, but about where would you be and on your journey towards Sergeant Morales?
At that time, I had just made the turn on the 7th Street.
All right.
I'm sorry, it was what's the block number? King Orange. Yes, 4750.
Okay. So now he's calling out a different location, correct?
Yeah.
And it's, what is it?
Said King Orange and mirror.
Okay, so now are you adjusting in your mind where you think you're going to encounter Sergeant Morales?
Yes, I am.
Where do you anticipate finding Sergeant Morales as the backup?
Well, if he says that, then he should be at the intersection, or near the intersection. If not, I'm anticipating that if he's not going to be he's going to be close, either on Mirror or he might be on King Orange. He's going to be on either one, but he's going to be close by in this proximity.
Okay. So we know you've now turned on the 7th from the initial reception. This is a few seconds later. Where are you approximately on 7th Street when you hear this updated location?
At that point, I was already getting close to, if I hadn't passed it yet, I was near Rebels Lane.
Okay. So you are responding. You familiar with the area, I guess. You know what streets to take to get to where he says he's going to be?
Yes.
Okay. We'll pick it up. To get to where he says he's going to be?
Yes.
Okay. We'll pick it up. Go ahead and tell us what happened and then where you parked and what happened next.
At that point, I pretty much parked my car almost same proximity as where the defendant's car was. And I get out the car to check on,
Okay. Just tell us where was Gary in the car.
at that point I get out to check on Sergeant Morales to see what his condition was at that point.
And where was he seated? Where was he seated in his vehicle?
In the driver's side.
And how was he positioned? Was he completely in the car? Was he partially out of the car, best as you can recall?
Best as I can recall, he was completely in the car.
And then did you attempt to render first aid?
Yes, I did.
All right, and we hear you call out to roll an ambulance. And during this time, every other law enforcement officer in the county is pursuing the defendant, correct?
That is correct.
And while rendering aid to Sergeant Morales, are you also monitoring where he's going and what he's doing?
Yes, I am.
All right. At some point in time, do you become concerned that he's actually coming back?
Yes.
Okay. And so, based on the radio communications, what do you do?
At that point, once after I tried to render aid to Sergeant Morales, I was concerned, so I didn't know they hadn't apprehended him yet. So I had to leave Gary for a little bit to go to the trunk of my car and get my shotgun out just in case he returned.
All right. You wanted to have a weapon that was, I guess, more room for error.
Yes.
Okay. Did you see that car again?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and I don't even want you to get down again, but tell me where you saw that car again as you're standing now up here in this area where Gary's vehicle is.
The car came, it was on Canner.
Okay, Canner?
Yes.
Okay.
And it came like right back down
Okay.
on Naylor,
All right.
and then he hooked back out
Okay.
and then went back on the Canner.
Okay. And did you see law enforcement officers in full pursuit, lighting sirens of the defendant as he fled the scene?
Yes, I did.
All right. Now, at some point in time, does a supervisor arrive on scene, a lieutenant arrive on scene?
Yes, he did.
Okay. I just need to show a diagram and some photographs, and we're going to be done, okay?
Okay.
Judge, if I could have the witness step down, please.
Yes, sir. Just for the record, the recording was Exhibit 2 in evidence.
Yeah, I have it. The recording is 12.
12, I beg your pardon. 12.
read it first. I don't have to. It's a crime scene diagram. Thank you. Detective, this is State's Exhibit 23. I want to show you it's a not to scale crime scene diagram, but the diagram reflects the presence of vehicle identified as yours. Back here, a red pickup truck, Gary's car, and the red car you saw. Does this generally accurately depict the relative relationship between your vehicle, Gary's vehicle, the defendant's vehicle, and as things occurred as you just testified here?
Yes, it does.
At the time you were returning fire on the defendant?
Yes.
Come on up here. I'd offer into evidence State's Exhibit 23, Your Honor.
Objection from the defense.
No, Your Honor.
Objection be admitted as State's 23 now.
Thanks, Judge. So, Clarence, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put pictures up. It's important that you not stand in front of the screen so the folks in the jury box can see what you're talking about. You just direct me. And, go. First photograph I want to show is State's Exhibit 13. And it's kind of difficult to see, but this is going to be, has been identified as Gary's car down here. And whose car would this be now?
That's my car.
Okay, so this is the scene as it appeared. Obviously, we now know from Detective Wentz there are additional vehicles on scene, but this would be how the cars end up once you approach surrender first aid, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Back up here, we see these yellow markers which have been identified as shell casings. Does that look consistent with respect to the distance that you were from the defendant and Gary's car as you were returning fire on the defendant?
Yes.
And this is just another angle. Now we're looking north up Naylor, but again, this would be the area in which you parked your vehicle?
Yes.
Now, I need to go back for just 1 second. So when we hear you call out on the dispatch tape at 1:57, shots fired, I think you saw this, and then you get cut off, right? About how long would you estimate it had been since you rolled around that corner on King Orange and were heading north on Naylor? I mean, I know this is an extremely, virtually impossible question, but it's best you had to estimate how much time elapsed between working backwards, the time you call out shots fired, to the time you roll around that corner.
Couldn't have been more than 30 seconds.
All right. And then next is going to be, I guess that's this is stage 23 now, the exhibit that's in evidence. And again, for purposes of looking at this diagram, does it generally accurately depict the relative positions of Gary's car, the red car driven by the defendant, and your vehicle during this encounter?
Yes.
Okay. Showing you State's Exhibit 17, and this is going to be now identified as a vantage point looking north on Naylor down towards Sergeant Morales' car. Whose car?
Let me interrupt right there. Some of y'all need to use the restroom again, I understand. Okay, let me have y'all step into the restroom, please, and we'll have you come back and watch your step.